Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to Winning Ways, where we've got a tremendous show because we're going to do a look at the Breeders' Cup in York Hall. We're going to go through all those races. We're going to look at the big day at Turfentine Charity Mile Day on Saturday, and we've got some very good horses to follow. And Kev, you're still with me because Laf's been sitting watching the Springboks get beaten, had all their possession, had all the territory, had everything, and still contrived to lose a game.
Yeah, James, we only have to read social media just to know that 16 playing 15 doesn't help, especially one's got a whistle.
But you're a Manchester United supporter, it happens the whole time.
Well, we're getting out of the jail in the last minute every game. No wonder Ferguson ended up in hospital, the poor bugger.
Yeah.
But it was one of those games. I think South Africa should have actually closed the door earlier on. There's line-out mistakes that's just unforgivable.
Well, it's obviously, I watched both those lineouts that he threw in, Malcolm Marx threw in long. It's obviously a play, okay, that they've practiced, but I don't blame him because he doesn't throw that long for fun. He's obviously been told that's where he's going to throw back at the lineout. No one went up for it.
Yeah, you know. It's costing them dearly, unfortunately, but one thing I must say, South Africa are back on the world stage. I mean, they're close to England now. Well, should have beaten England. Should have just about beaten All Blacks twice. So we're back on the stage. So
not pretty rugby.
Yeah, what can we do? Well, 6 months ago, I thought we were going to throw the jerseys away.
Yeah, at least we scored a try, and they
scored
did
a
score.
try. Yeah.
But it's all defence today. That's what the game's become.
All about strength.
Yeah,
got to have
strength
the big
defense.
boys, the tackles, But anyway, we had, like you said, Friday night racing. Saturday we've had the Turfentine Empress Palace. Sunday we had Saturday night. We entered the Breeders' Cup. Sunday, I mean, it was unbelievable.
Let's just talk of soccer quickly. The Man United.
Man United, we're getting there. We're in 7th position now. We only 3 points off jumping into the top 4. So we just need 1 or 2. City don't falter at the moment. Liverpool playing well. Spurs got out of jail yesterday, I see.
Now, Arsenal played Liverpool.
1-1.
Yeah.
A little bit disappointed. Both managers were disappointed.
Yeah.
They both said they should have won, so we'll take the draw as a win. But as long as we can just keep getting our 3 points and 1 or 2 falters at the top, boom, we'll be in the top 4. I don't think we can't win the league, but we just want to just be competitive.
Can't win the league. Never heard a Manchester United supporter say that, but there you go. It just shows you. Must be had a bad weekend, young Kevy. Anyway, let's go and have a look at what we've got as 3 to follow. Well, we thought we'd start with a no-crop race. Persuader, crop is what Tex likes to call them. Whip, stick is what they've always been called. I must tell you, it leaves me stone cold. Kev, what do you think of no crops?
Well, we spoke offline now. There's no equestrian sport.
I never spoke to you offline. I don't speak offline.
Yeah, well, I'm saying there's no there's no horse. How can I put it that you don't carry a stick?
No,
Polo guys carry a stick. I don't hit the horse with it.
Yeah.
A stick. You don't have to hit the horse. You can
use it if you need to.
Yeah, use it. You need to. And this is a no stick race. Take your sticks with you. You're not allowed to hit them behind.
Yeah.
You can smack them down the shoulder.
Well, if you watch Reindl Seinels the last 200 meters, he's actually showing the stick with his arm. Okay, like so the horse like feels that it's got the stick there. Now, to me, if you're going to put on something like this, let the jockeys take their sticks. You say you're not allowed to take your hand off the rein.
Fair enough.
You can tap the horse down the shoulder, can pull it through and tap him down the shoulder the other side, but the hand's got to be on the rein when you hit the horse, which means that all it is it's a guider, which is what it's there for. Okay?
You're not allowed to hit the horse behind the girth.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in the race because the first 2 horses ran first and second. The third horse is much better than that, and obviously just needed a bit of encouragement. Okay,
6 lengths behind them.
6 lengths behind them, 9 lengths behind. They were finished distances behind. That form is going to be a disaster for racing.
I think so as well.
Because you're going to find horses come out of that line that look like they ran 12, 14 lengths behind, and they're going to come and win, and everyone's going to say, "What's this all about?"
Yeah.
So if you're going to experiment the right way. But don't experiment like they did. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the race, and you can draw your own conclusions. That's ours. Right. The horse we picked up is Reach for the Line, which is trained by Michael and Adam Azzi, Patala Palace. It's in the blue and white colours of Brian Riley, and it gets up there into a very handy position.
Yeah, James, I must say, the Mark Azzi's horses, they know how to get out the gates, but Lyle's in the box seat. You can see this here now. Sitting in a beautiful position. A lot of the other guys is giving the horses a chance. They did go a very good clip, but I mean, he's in the box seat. The De Kock horses are most probably about 2.5, 3 lengths behind him. Also getting a little bit of a niggle. But the Azzi horses, they know what to do, James. They've trained to be quick out the gates.
The favourites in the orange colours from the Woodruff stable are very nice horses. Isle in a Tree, we picked it up as one to follow. But he just loses his way. He's Gavin Lorena's now there in about third on him. Asked him to quicken, hands and heels, but he's got horses around him. Doesn't look like he really knows what he wants to do. Michael Azzi's horse is gone. This is a very nice horse. Reach for the Line is a Patala Palace bred by Highlands. And I think he's a lovely horse. And this horse that ends up beating him might be quite special. His name's Hawam. He's a Silvana out of Halfway to Heaven, so he's got a beautiful pedigree. But watch the horse that's third. It will leave this form stone cold way behind. The horse that's fourth, look where the end of the rest of them finished. It was an absolute mile behind.
Yeah, no, I don't like to see horses. I mean, I like to see horses winning like that, but like you say, no sticks, no whips.
Yeah, they should not be allowed to take your hands off the rein, because Randall Simons took his hands off the rein. Yeah. Which in effect shows a whip action. Okay, so I don't know, maybe he had an invisible whip there. Anyway,
well, it worked.
Yeah, let's move on and go and have a look at Kenilworth, where we picked up a couple of really nice horses from the Brett Crawford stable. First race was won by a Stratum filly, Australian bred, out of a Vittori mare. Now this is top class. We very seldom pick winners first time out. Beautifully named Mushy Static. Okay, let's go and pick him up at the start. Anton Marcus rode it.
Comes out the gates like it knows exactly what to do. And I mean, there's no other master in the game than Anton Marcus getting horses out the gates.
Gave a bit of a hop, but it's in front.
A bit of a hop, boom, straight into stride. But James, the interesting part, watch this horse's ears. They pricked virtually the whole way, and it wins by a streak.
Yeah, and the stable companion that had a run, called Indiana, Master of My Fate filly. That's in the middle of the track in the red colours and Andre McDonald's colours. That's cantering along next to this, but this is going to the other one's one. It is absolutely cantering in front. Got action to die for. I think this is a very, very good filly.
Yeah, he's with Anton Marcus's new sponsors, the Kidsvinkers, but Kidsvitters. But over here, ears pricked. You know, to lead from start to finish in a 6 furlong at Kenilworth, you've got to be a special horse. But just look at this. The action is just unbelievable. Anton gives a little slap down the shoulder. Didn't ever hit it. I mean, this could be a no-stick race. Ears still virtually pricked. 4 lengths. Take that, sports fans.
Yeah, and going away.
One as it liked. And I'll tell you, I'd like to be at the next time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a feature.
Yeah. Very, very nice filly. Yeah, right. Nice. We're going to move on, and we're going to have a look at the next one, and we go to Kenilworth, 4th race, and another Brett Crawford inmate. He won the race with a very nice horse, Sonatla, but we know Brett doesn't push him along. This is a dynasty. Let's go and have a look at this horse, V for Victory. I really like the look of this.
Yeah, he's drawn one, James, and you'll see this one's a lot greener than the one in the first race. Anton comes out the gates a little bit sluggish. You'll see him give it a smack down the shoulder. It's got the red and white colours where it was drawn one. It's virtually second last now. Anton scrub it up into a nice half-decent posy. The horse that they have to beat, well, the stable companion's directly in front of him with the white cap on, ridden by Richard Ferry. So Anton, you can see scrub, smack down the shoulder, keep it in the race. A first-timer going around the turn. First-timer in a mile too, James. So most probably hasn't shown too much pace at home. So they thought they'll just give it a run in a mile and let's see it running on. But
he's a dynasty. He cost 3.8 million. He's had a very good mare, a Moonlight Prairie Cuisine mare bred by the Highlands. And I think that you'll find that he's probably going to be at his best over 1.25 miles plus. But if you watch here, Richard Fourie comes off the fence and says, let me go down between these two, and Anton follows him. And then he ends up going back down the inside.
Yeah, as you can see Anton there, he's actually got him in not a bad spot. Hasn't been racing on the bit the whole way. There he comes off the bit straight away. As we know, this is Kenilworth, and it's a track that you need horses with plenty stamina. There's Anton here. He comes up the inside, gives a little crack here and there. But the winners, the stable companions, Home and Hose. This is also very nice. Also, Patala Palace as well. James, I think I know what a good horse he was. I think he's going to make a nice stallion too. Ran second. I think Brett must be very happy with that.
I would think so. Hands and heels, the last bit. Nearly got chopped for second, but ended up hanging on.
The beauty is, James, next time, 2 weeks down the line, Brett will put those two horses together again, just with a little bit of pace work or something together, and you can just see the improvement on the second horse against the winner. So you'll know exactly where he stands. Well, this horse has come on 3 or 4 lengths.
He's got a beautiful action. He certainly covers a lot of ground. He's going to go a trip, so make sure that you back him when he goes over a bit of a trip. I would think he'd probably go in 1,800 or 2,000. He'd be able to win now. That's what he looks like.
Could be a Derby horse.
Could be. Well worth watching how he's going to improve. Anyway, we're going to go and move on and have a look at what shouldn't happen. You can look at that and think of either two things. Getting ready for the breeding season, just practicing.
Or eating itself and getting
Or
ready.
Try to get some food, really hungry, but he looks nice and fat. He does. Attacking that bale of hay.
And it's a big bale of hay.
Classic picture. If you want to watch the full unabridged version, you go and watch our show on www.goldcircle.co.za. Go to the YouTube icon and you can watch the whole show, including what happens after that. Quite interesting. We're going to move on and see what the plum of the week was.
Tiger still the leader. Cruz Giovanni comes under big pressure. Sigismund is now moving in. On the inside, soon you'll know, and then comes Paddington's Luck. But Sigismund comes into the lead. Stone Tiger tries to fight back. But Sigismund now takes it up with 100 meters to go. Cruz Giovanni's running on late, but Sigismund's in command, and Sigismund will win it. Matter of what's going to run second. The second position will go to Cruz Giovanni, Paddington's Luck, and Alfieri.
Well, we've been waiting for this horse to go a mile, and what happened? Anton Marcus rode it last time. He jumped off it and got onto Cruz Giovanni, so there was no support for this horse. You could have got 7-2, even 4-1 on Interbet on this horse. And we picked him out as a horse to follow when he went over a trip. Alistair Gordon said all along, wait till this horse goes a mile. Suddenly Anton jumps on Brett Crawford's horse, and you can get as much as you like. If Anton had ridden this horse, it would have been odds on.
It would have been odds on, but James, is another one for the guys out there, this Blackburn Rock form.
Yeah.
It just keeps
deadly,
coming.
Yeah?
Deadly, because he came out after winning his maidens with 61 in his back. He ran second, a great run, and I think on Sunday, 2 horses behind this Blackburn Rock form, both won as well.
Good form,
very, very good form round. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, absolutely. But to get onto Interbet, you could have got, as I say, 4-1 about this. And I honestly mean it, that had to be the plum of the week. I know that Gary Peer, who runs Interbet, he had a winner on Sunday. He told me, won't lose, Monte Cristo. He said, that's got to be the plum of the week. I said, Gary, sorry, you came too late in the week. But it was another plum.
It was,
you know,
and he romped home.
They were very confident.
I haven't seen Anton sit on a horse halfway down Gravel Straight with the double handful like that, and then just pull the trigger and boom.
So well done to Gary and Raul Barelovitz. Those guys, they're going to go and eat. They like eating, though. You know,
they're going to need to.
I mean, those are proper eaters. They're knife and fork specialists, champions. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with current affairs.
Best race time odds, transparency of betting markets, friendly and super efficient staff, the ability to negotiate odds, a full service tote with no limits, which is very important for exotic players, loyalty program, speedy withdrawal of funds, full odds, multiple betting, and excellent in-play markets. These are just some of the many reasons that come to mind as to why I believe, as a serious punter, there is no online operator in South Africa that can realistically come close to matching what Interbet has to offer. Put simply, there's no other site like it, and the ability to negotiate odds adds to my fun and enjoyment. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Right, well, let's go to Turfentine, where we had all the big races on Saturday. Charity Mile Day, it's always a great day. The Emperor's sponsored Charity Mile. They get a lot of celebrities there, and it's always fun to watch what's going on. And they have some great racing. And they started off the day with the Graham Beck, which is a very good race in honour of probably one of the greatest men in South African racing, Graham Beck. It's a grade 3. They go 1,400 metres. And Yvette Bremner does this with regularity. She comes from the PE. She comes and shows the Joburg boys what it's all about. Well, this properly showed them. So give me the green light out of, it's amazing, out of a mare by Camden Park, bred by Rob Knappe, who's one of the partners with Bryn Russell, Headley McGraw, whose colours it runs in, and Mickey Wright. It was a scintillating win, because this says, might not be too good up here in Joburg. Let's go and have a look at the way this one picked him up at 800.
Down the inside of those is National Park. Chimid Cherry runs on the outside. The blue and red got 3 lengths to go. Then Fadoz. Inexhaustible further back. Aliasart still got 7 lengths to find with Silken Prince. Then Green Haze further back to In Cahoots and Victor Fourth. Into the last 500, and Rule the Night has picked up the lead here. Rule the Night leads from Benji. Down the inside, National Park. Further back to Chimid Cherry Run. Got 2.5 to go. Aliasart still 6 lengths to track down. National Park has picked up the lead with 300 to go. National Park, 3 lengths clear. Chimid Cherry Run. Aliasart has still got a mountain to climb, and it's the Eastern Cape runner, National Park, who's well clear and will win the Graham Beck Stakes. National Park by 4 to 5 lengths. From in second, Chimid Cherry Run. In Coots third, Aliasart fourth. Fadoz Victor fourth. Then came Ben.
Well, Ryan Munger steered this to victory, and couldn't happen to a nicer man. He's riding really well, and he's very focused. I like his attitude. I think that he wants to get on top of these guys, the Ferrarises and all the whiz kids, you know, that are running around Hewittsons. Ryan Munger wants to have a go at them. Good luck to him.
Listen, good luck to him. He's a good rider. I mean, they gave this also a peach of a ride, sat in the box seat, quickened up like a good thing. Well done to Yvette. You know, this is not the first time she's gone up to Joburg to take some of their cash. She goes up there and...
but she made sure this time.
She made sure, right? 5 lengths. Whoa, I would like to see Chimichurri hanging like an old barn door. But this was very impressive. Give me the green light. Oh, what a stallion, isn't he? Turning out to be every week. They're just winning time. But now they're starting to win graded races. And
beautiful to see.
Yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
To see. He's a very good horse. Australian bred. Let's go and have a look at the next one. And we go to the Her Royal Highness Princess Charlene Starling Stakes. It's a grade 3. And wonderful to have Mike Woodstock and the Princess Charlene. I did an interview with her once, years and years ago, long before she married into royalty, on when I did one of those shows in Joburg. And she was fantastic when she was a swimmer. She was such fun, and she really, she done a lot for racing. She really likes racing. They have a big race for R1 million, maiden plate.
No, she loves it. She's was she there yesterday?
No, she wasn't.
No,
but Mike was there.
Oh, okay.
Mike, her father was there, Mike Woodstock.
Yeah.
They're a good Zimbabwean family,
Yeah.
born and bred. Okay, well, let's go and pick this one up at the 800. Ronnie's Candy won the nursery last year. Everyone said that's a fluke. St. John showed them no fluke in it at all. Won a very, very good race.
Corner for home in the Starling Stakes, 800 metres left to go. On the double is the leader here from Running Brave, and down the inside, Nafa Yes, the red cap. Gala's 3-4 lengths to go. Then comes Ronnie's Candy, Mary O'Reilly, Isle de France still got 6-7 to make up. Celtic Sea is trying to run on in behind those. Then Rock Sensation, Crimson Rail, and Soul of Weta now as they head down into the final 350 metres. Ronnie's Candy up the centre with Gala. Nafa Yes on the double, Running Brave between runners. Then Mary O'Reilly also catching the eye on the outside, 3 to go, but Ronnie's Candy hit the front from Nafa Yes and Gala with Mary O'Reilly and Running Brave, but it's Ronnie's Candy with 100 to go in the Starling Stakes, and it's Ronnie's Candy for St. John Gray that'll win it. Second place, Nafa Yes, Gala third, Running Brave, Mary O'Reilly, Isle de France.
Bred by St. John, owned by St. John, out of a Jetmaster mare by King of Kings. Yeah, St. John. He's unbelievable.
Finds him every
year. Congratulations to him. I mean, he
finds him
not
every
only
year.
Trains him, and they win the big races.
Breeds
he won
him.
with Aldo's champ the other day, and this horse, it just keeps winning, you know, and by obscure horses. King of Kings.
Yeah, you never think
when
so.
he won the nursery, it was the second nursery that King of Kings had won in about 5 years. And this horse, if you look at its form, it's actually not too bad. It went to Scottsville, and it got no type of race, faltered badly. They changed the jockey, put on Corne Offer, home.
Well, in the nursery, it beat the 5 million De Kock Touch, and he gave it 6 love again. She gave it 6 love again, the fillies I'm talking about. Ronnie's Candy, St. John, go, St. John.
Yeah.
Well done.
They then move on and obviously have a look at the Empress Palace Charity Mile. Great races. Love it. And it was won by the best horse in the race. He's top weight. He went out there and came from way off them. Coral Fever. Couldn't be happened to nicer owners. Sriska and Colin Bird. Fantastic, fantastic win. Well done to Robbie Sage. Muzieni produced the horse at the right time. He keeps booting home winners. Let's go and pick him up at the 800.
From Fullmaster second, Captain Eldo is third. Then New Predator, Infamous Fox is on that one's outside. Arctica's got 6-7 to go. Noble Seeker with 8 to find. Bulleting home. Down the inside is Drusra, Matador Man. Further back to Tilbury Fort, and then comes Coral Fever, Hat Puntano. 400 to go. Full Mast picked up the lead. Down the inside, Champagne Ace fighting back. 2 lengths clear of Captain Eldo in third. Then comes New Predator, Matador Man running on the inside. Arctica's alive on the outside. Coral Fever is also running on. Social Order is coming forward strongly. 200 to go. Champagne's Captain Eldo, Arctica, Drusra, Tilbury Fort is running on. Social Order, Matador Man, Coral Fever on the outside. Tilbury Fort is running on, and here comes the line. Tilbury Fort or Coral Fever. Third place,
Barstool.
Judd Pot, bred by the Ascot Stud, and out of a rich man's gold mare. This horse is some type of racehorse.
You're getting that Richmond Gold mare, that breeding coming back into the system. We lost a great stallion as Richmond's Gold, but wow, did he win a good race. I mean, I used to like coming from behind, but that also made up a lot of ground. And at the end, there was, there was 5 short heads in it.
Yeah.
So,
and you got to spare a thought for the second horse, for Mark Curry and the boys in Tilbury Fort. He just looks like one of those horses. He's good enough, but just never really gets there.
Finds one every time I'm cooking it.
Hopefully Summer Cup will be his day, because I think he'd be perfectly suited to the Summer Cup Tilbury Fort.
Well, there's going to Summer Cup. I think is going to be interesting this year. There's quite a few horses going to be lining up, so interesting to see. But this is normally a very a lot of horses have runs in this race. Not as have runs, but it's a prep.
Yeah.
It's a prep. So a lot of horses will improve on this. Matinal Man, I thought he had every chance. He looked like he wasn't going to run out of place at one stage, and he came up the inside. He didn't get beat too far either. But I think. He's maybe looking for maybe a little bit further now too. I didn't think so.
I think, you know, Matador Man's one of those horses I think you've got to switch off.
Put him to sleep.
Just put him to sleep, and you just got to follow something through And when you're ready, pull him out and let him go.
Well,
because he likes a short straight. And why he likes a short straight, they go good gallop. And they'll come back to you the last 200 or 300 because they've gone hard.
Anton Market proved it last time.
You just got to drop him.
Switch him off.
Yeah.
Leave it.
And but you can't detract from Coral Fever. He's now won 4 million rand in stakes. He's a defending champion. Let's see how he goes, and it will be very interesting to see.
James, look what races he's running. His last 10, 15, only features.
Only features.
And always top weight.
Yeah. No, he is a top racehorse. And I think they were very disappointed when he didn't win an award. He should have won an award, this horse. Maybe this is his year. Anyway, we move on then to the race 9, which was the Yellowwood Handicap. Fillies and mares. Candice Dawson, Gavin Larena got their names on the board on the big day, as they always do. And what a nice win from Sylvan on Fire. Let's go and pick them up.
Then comes Jet Start. Got a lot of love. Has only got a length to make up with Fortember. Towards that one inside is Being Fabulous. And Cygnus is going to dart towards the inside. Running Rail has about 4 lengths to track down. If you're looking for Chariots of Gold, he's starting to make a bit of headway down the centre of the track. Only has 3 lengths, but he's starting to tighten up as they go through the 450-metre mark. And Cygnus has come forward to pick it up with Being Fabulous. Chariots of Gold has also got a prayer. Then Jet Start and Sylvan on Fire. Cashel Palace is also starting to run on with Cold Cash. There's only 300 metres left to run, and out in front is Cygnus. Being Fabulous is scrapping away with Sylvan on Fire, and then Cold Cash with Jet Start. They spread right across the track, but Sylvan on Fire for Gavin Larena will win the Yellowwood Handicap. Cold Cash has run second, Being Fabulous third, and then Cygnus.
Well, a tremendous win for Vanessa Harrison. She owned and bred this one by Silvano out of a Jetmaster mare, another Jetmaster mare on the big day. And as I say, Candice, Gavin Larena, I thought rode probably one of the best races he's ridden all season on this.
He's a great rider, Gavin. He's very talented. It's good to see him back in action again. He came from a diabolical draw to get a nice position. Great rider. And Candice Dawson, what else can I say? She's so talented. She's a horsewoman of note. Everywhere she's been, they've done well. She helped them in Mauritius.
You remember when she took that string for Com to Joburg?
Took her Com. They've all done well. She's brilliant, Candice. Yeah. She deserves it. She deserves bigger owners, I think. String may be getting bigger, but as you say, Gavin definitely made the difference.
Okay, let's go to a little bit of the news. And obviously we're doing the Breeders' Cup in your call. We're going to go through 6 or 7 races there. But as far as sales news was concerned, Lady Aurelia, the Scat Daddy, sold through the ring at Keeneland just after the big weekend, because obviously Churchill Downs, everyone's there, $7.5 million.
I think she's worth every cent.
She was a dual Group 1 winner in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Award.
Do you know who bought her? Not Coolmore, not one of the big boys.
No, it was bought by one of the big guys. It escapes me, but
staying in Europe or going back to America.
Coolmore were big notes going back to America, staying in America. Coolmore were one big buyers on the Mandy Pope Whisper Hill Farm. She bought one for $3 million. She keeps buying. I'm not sure who bought this, but I know that the Coolmore bunch bought the other Scat Daddy filly on the sale. So they obviously went for this and didn't get it. Donica O'Brien, just talking about the Coolmore bunch, Donica O'Brien and Aidan won the Jockeys and Trainers Championship in Ireland again this year.
How proud must you be to be a father and you've had kids?
He's got Joseph hanging around.
Joseph Machine.
He's got his daughter.
He's got his daughter. He's got his other son. It must be for a father, a very proud moment.
Just talking about the ready-to-run race. You know, they have this ready-to-run race. They had the ready-to-run sale over the weekend, and they have the ready-to-run race. They had 16 horses in the ready-to-run race. 15 were bred by Summerhill Stud, and 1 was bred by Team N Stables. What won it?
Well, they ran second to 15 was the Summerhill guys, and the odd one out won it.
Well, the interesting thing is Team N Stables won it, Viva Pipa. Okay, that won it, beautifully named.
Yeah.
Okay, and but it was raised at Summerhills. All 16 were raised at Summerhill.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Next year should be fun. Most of the horses that got sold through the ring were Summerhill again. Anyway, what else have we got? Melbourne Cup tomorrow morning. We got the Melbourne Cup.
We'll be up 6:30 to 7 in the morning.
You're going to watch it on Teletrack. What do you like?
There was a horse who's got a funny name,
Yucatan.
Yucatan is a lot of talk. I'm just reading about him, not what I like. I haven't watched all the preparation races, but he's the talk at the moment. There's money for him. The pundits that tip the horses are all going Yucatan. So I'm going to go.
Why isn't Ryan Moore riding him? He was O'Brien's. You would think that he'd be riding it. He's riding Cliffs of Moher, and I thought that had 2 cracking starts in Australia. That's my fancy. Each way, Cliffs of Moher.
I loved him when he started his career, and then he lost it for a while. They set him up at 1 or 2 horse races, and he flopped. But Ryan has always rated this horse. He said he's an absolute champion. Maybe he likes the Australian. Maybe he likes travelling.
All right, 2 interesting things for us. Best solution, obviously, Patsy Cosgrave's going to have a go at the Melbourne Cup. We'd love to see him win it.
Yeah, I loved it.
He needs the cash. He's got to buy a new caravan.
Well, he's got to come from Dubai, because I think he won the Group 2 or Group 1 in Abu Dhabi yesterday.
Good for him.
Yeah, so he won the big race yesterday in Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, Pat, he's riding well. He's got the Godolphin team behind him as well. So, good luck to Paddy.
South African interest, Duke of Marmalade's got a runner in the race, Marmello. Huey Bowman rides it.
Well, who else do you want than Huey Bowman, coming off his wings spectacular?
Yeah. So this will be fancied as well. Tomorrow morning, don't miss it.
Full field, James.
Full field.
What, the 25 or what?
No, it's 32, I think.
Yeah, it's a hell of a race.
I know they've been watching what gets in and what doesn't get in. One was withdrawn because it had a bruised foot, and the horse got Star of Aaron, got in or whatever. It's like, you know, whether you get in or whether you don't get in.
Well, it's the race that everybody wants to, it's the race that stops the nation.
Yeah. The saddest news for us this week, the sad passing of Michael Price, Wicklow stud, great friend of ours, and Chris Kerber from Mouton's Hook. You know, just spare a thought for all those people that are around those guys and work for them, these dynasties that they set up. I know Chris Kerber was one of the most passionate racing men around. It was always fun to be around him. Michael Price, I've known him since he was a child. He was a wonderful guy, battled a long illness. I knew the family, Lowell Price and Elwyn Phillips and all of those guys. Really sad. Spare a thought for these guys and their families. And we move on and hope that we have a better week this week. We'll be back with Breeders' Cup. Right, well, let's go to the Breeders' Cup, Churchill Downs. Just a bit to whet your appetite, 70,000 people. The first day there was 40,000 people, $7.2 million on-track handle. And they had all 2-year-old races as the big races on the Friday night, well, Friday afternoon as far as they were concerned. And I think it's a great way to do it because you get all the 2-year-olds, you get a look at what's going on, and you can see Kev, the best 2-year-olds, dirts, turf horses, whatever.
No, this is unbelievable. I mean, Churchill Downs, the HQ of American racing. I mean, what more do you want? A friend of mine was there. Actually, two. Anthony Del Pesce's son was there as well.
Oh, well, he's working there. Yeah, Damon.
Damon
went
there.
At the race meeting.
He was there at the race meeting. It was freezing cold. They told me 5 degrees, the chill factor, because I saw some pictures of him on social media.
It's the middle of winter there.
Middle of winter, yeah. But great racing.
All right, well, let's go to the first one we picked out for you. It was the Breeders' Cup Turf Juvenile. This was probably the best winner on the whole weekend. This is a Loop de Vega filly, and she's out of a Holy Roman Emperor mare. Irad Ortis, Chad Brown. Let's go and pick up a newspaper of record winning the Turf fillies.
And they're off. An uneventful start for Newspaper of Record, and she's looking for the lead. La Pelosa also out as well toward the inside, but Newspaper of Record, Bias for the first time in control, opens up to lead by 2. La Pelosa is racing in second. Paquette on the outside. Third, Stellar Agent is racing fourth early. Concrete Rose over to the hedge to be 5th. The Macabole at inside 6th. Lily's Kendall racing in 7th. Bell Laura 3 wide around the first turn and 8th by another 3. Then it's Just Wonderful 9th and down inside. My Galbetti is racing 10th. Summering is 11th. Lady Prancelot is 12th. Another 2 lengths back to Varenka, second to last. And East is 14th and last as they move up the backstretch. The opening quarter mile in 24 seconds flat. Newspaper of Record, unopposed so far, leads by 2.5 lengths with a half mile to go. Chased by La Pelosa. Concrete Rose slips through underneath. Up to be 3rd. Paquette wide of the far turn in 4th. Stellar Agents racing in 5th. The Macam Bullet is bottled up inside 6th. Bell Laura is wide on the track in 7th. Lily's Kendall, Impetuous is running along in 8th. The rest have to get going. Cruising up top is Newspaper of Record. Racing for the top of the stretch. Concrete Rose comes off the hedge, angles outside with 2 lengths to make up and a quarter mile to go. It's Newspaper of Record in front, now shaken up on that lead. Cut loose by Rod Ortiz Jr., and just like that, she's in front by 4. Now she's in front by 5. Now she's in front by 6. Newspaper of Record rips away from the pack. Farther back, late bids on the outside from Varenka, so too Stellar Agent. They're coming down to the finish. Tomorrow's headline today, Newspaper of Record, simply spectacular. Wins by 8 on the wire. East, Stellar Agent, Varenka, Just Wonderful, and the Macam Bullet.
Loop de Vega, one of my favorite stallions. But the second horse was the interesting one.
By Frankel. It came from last.
And a tiny, as tiny, Jamie Spencer on it, looked like he was on a polo pony. It was so small, not even possible. So it just shows you, Frankels, they can run. And the fillies really can run. Ran second, but the winner, one of the best fillies I've ever seen, 2-year-old fillies.
Wait, we're going to see the colts just now.
Who knows what's going on? Well, let's go and have a look at the colts race on Friday. And that was the next one. It was the Breeders' Cup Turf for the colts. Let's go and pick them up at the start.
They're off. Current left in the air at the start, and that leaves him at the back early. Some Like It Hot Brown is racing for the lead. Grabs a 1.5 length advantage early on, 40 under toward the inside racing. Second Line of Duty, very restive, pulled back off the pace to be 3rd. Opry is up close racing. 4th, Henley's Joy in between. 5th, War of Will, stuck wide on the first turn, racing up into 6th. Arthur Kitt is covered up and gathered in 7th toward the inside. Much better is 8th and only 5 lengths off the lead. Uncle Benny runs along in 9th. The Black Album is 10th. Anthony Van Dyke 3 or 4 wide around the first turn. Already 8 or 9 lengths off the lead. Then it's Marie's Diamond Current, and at the back is King of Speed. The opening quarter mile in 24 and 2/5 seconds. Some Like It Hot Brown. Down the back stretch in front. 40 under on the outside prompts the pace from second. It's those two onto the final half mile. Arthur Kitt asked to go now. Third and inside. Opry's racing fourth. It's been a wide trip from War of Will on the far outside. Racing fifth onto the far turn. Line of Duty down inside. 4 lengths to make up from there. Then it's much better in Henley's Joy. Uncle Benny's making steady progress, weaving through the track down toward the hedge now to within 5 lengths of the lead. They're at the quarter pole. Some Like It Hot Brown turns for home in front. 40 under to the attack. War of Will swings wide for the stretch drive. Line of Duty does too. Arthur Kidd boxes on in behind. Opry bumps with the Black Album. Uncle Benny's trying to find a seam. There's 1 furlong to go. Some Like It Hot Brown is still in front. Line of Duty wanders to the crown of the course. Uncle Benny comes charging on through. Here comes Uncle Benny. And on the outside, Line of Duty. And at the rail, Some Like It Hot Brown. Here's the wire. Line of Duty up to win it. Line of Duty the winner. Uncle Benny was second. Some Like It Hot Brown was third. And Arthur Kitt was fourth.
Charlie Appleby, what a season he's had.
Wow.
And now the Melbourne Cup tomorrow with the Best Solution. And maybe that's the one that just puts the cherry on the cake.
He's the nicest guy you can ever meet as well.
Nicest guy. He was given the job when they had that scandal.
Mahmoud Al-Zaruni had his issue.
Yeah, and then he was a stable assistant.
He was assistant trainer, yeah.
And he's such a nice man. And you know, he's got a great team around him. He's got a South African does all the shoeing, Derek Popard, yeah. And it just was fantastic for them. This was the first year they went in and bought horses from Coolmore, Galileos. This is by Galileo, out of a rock in Gibraltar.
I'm happy they broke their little arguments they were having between each other. I'm not buying from you, you don't buy from us.
Yeah.
Mix them up together. Racing. Good for racing, especially European racing, and not just European racing, worldwide racing.
Everyone, yeah. Race 9 on the card was the big juvenile dirt, and that they talk about the Derby winner from that. That was run by a horse called Game Winner by Candy Ride, and it's quite interesting to see that the third horse, Baffert trained the winner. The third horse was out of a Trippy mare. So there's a South African connection as well. We love seeing these things, and great for Trippy. Broodmare sire was a sire's dam of the third horse in the big juvenile. We then move on to the Saturday, and obviously the Saturday has the older horses running. And we start with the big sprint, the turf sprint, because this was, there's a guy in America called Peter Miller, who's the turf champion. The sprint champion. And he did it again. He won both the sprint races. This race he won, and he also won with Roy H. So let's go and pick them up at the start for the turf sprint.
Whoa. Far outside, Stormy Liberal, flashing speed. Havana Gray is there. World of Trouble on the far outside, races up to join them. And Richard's Boy's not far behind either. Chanteline toward the inside, comes away fifth. Conquest Tsunami on the move up into sixth. Vision Perfect is seventh. Bucaro is eighth. Ruby Ocean in ninth. Will Calls Racing 10th, while 4 wide, a break of 3 lengths back to Rainbow Air, who moves up outside a Disco Partner. Lost Treasure and Hembry at the back of the pack. World of Trouble assumes control around the far turn, opens up a length and a quarter. Richard's Boy picks up the chase on the outside in second, and Stormy Liberal looms up on the far outside. Here comes Stormy Liberal with a 3-wide bid for the run into the stretch. World of Trouble tries to cut the corner, trying to fend off the oncoming Stormy Liberal. World of Trouble down inside with a narrow lead. Stormy Liberal draws alongside, and these two are head in head with 1 furlong to go. World of Trouble is dead game down inside. Stormy Liberal trying hard to get by. Stormy Liberal and World of Trouble in a ding-dong battle down to the wire, and Stormy Liberal has won it, defending its turf sprint title over a dead game, World of Trouble. It was a long way back to Disco Partner and Ruby Ocean.
Well, we've seen Stormy Liberal in Dubai. He's some type of horse. Roy H. won the sprint on the dirt for Peter Miller. He's a more than ready. And that out of an elusive quality mare, the second elusive quality mare to have a winner at the Breeders' Cup. And ridden by Paco Lopez. So Miller is the sprint champion. You follow him, you're going to get the money.
Do you see where the third horse was, James?
Yeah.
I think it was 7 lengths behind them. That's in a 5 furlong against the best.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we then go to the Turf Mile. And this was the start of things for Juddmonte International and Frankie Dettori. Expert Eye. Let's go and have a look.
Off dead last. Analyze it off first and racing for the lead and guided over toward the hedge. On the outside, Lightning Spear races up into the second spot. Happily is up close third. Catapult is fourth. Mustashri on the move on the far outside, wide into the turn fifth. Next Share settles inside while six. Almanar's pulled back off the pace. Racing in seventh, passed on the outside by Gustav Klimt and Divisadero. Then it's One Master toward the inside, running along in ninth. Expert Eye is three wide around the first turn. Stutter, Step Start has left Oscar Performance third to last for the backstretch run. I Can Fly to that one's outside, and Clemmy's the last of them all. Here's some company for Analyze It. On the far outside, Mustashri has come on to take the lead. The opening quarter mile composed in 24 3/5 seconds. So Mustashri leads the way halfway home. Analyze It is right there racing in second. Lightning Spear not far behind. Happily is right in the thick of it. Catapult is positioned on the far outside. Four wide and putting in a bid. Divisadero's launching a rally, but he's forced to go five wide round the far turn. Expert Eyes following that move. Next Shares is right in the thick of it. One Master shuffled back on the inside. It is anyone's race as they straighten away in the turf mile. Divisadero with a blitz on the far turn. Coming after Analyze It. Catapult boxes on between those two. Lightning Spear's in behind. Then it's Expert Eye. There's 1 furlong to go. Analyze It with something left for the final furlong. Trying to fend off Catapult. Expert Eye finishing okay. Clemmy on the far outside. There's 100 yards to go. Here comes Catapult after Analyze It. But on the far outside, Expert Eye finishing best of all. Expert Eye runs them all down. Catapult was right there. Analyze It, Divisadero, and One Master.
Same time as a 2-year-old filly ran it in 1:39.80. But Frankie just showed how good he is. You know, he's under pressure, but he just keeps riding, keeps his head down, keeps the horse balanced, and keeps going. No changing the stick, no nothing.
Keep
just
his stick in the
when
left
the horse
hand.
starts running,
Go
with it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know that, Kev. You've ridden horses all your life.
Champion,
you know what the story is.
absolute champion. Frankie.
Champion. Anyway, Sir Michael Stout, that was his 8th Breeders' Cup winner. That was Frankie's 13th Breeders' Cup winner. And second was John Sadler, who at this moment stood at 0 for 40. Had 40 runners in the Breeders' Cup, John Sadler. Never won one. So here he runs second again. I think he's had a number of seconds. But can you imagine being poor John Sadler? You think, how am I ever going to win one of these races? Anyway, we'll see about that later. The next race we go to is the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Fillies and mares, mile and a furlong. And we showed this because this has got to be one of the best fillies racing around the world. Monomoy Girl, great win. She's by Tappenzar out of a Henny Hughes mare. And let's go and pick her up at the start.
And they're off. Abel Tasman a little sluggish coming out of the gate. Wonder Gadot was away well. Monomoy Girl's prominent on the outside. Blue Prize is up there too. And Abel Tasman emerges from the pack and grabs third with 1 lap to go. Wonder Gadot very keen up top, leads by a length. Monomoy Girl shadowing her on the outside in second. Abel Tasman settles in toward the rail third. Blue Prize 3 wide racing. Fourth, Mopetism is fifth. Champagne Problems down inside sixth. Midnight Bijou comes away seventh and is 5 lengths off the lead. Then it's Verve's Tail reserved back in eighth. Veildori's racing ninth, La Force, and 4 lengths back to Wildcat. Wildcat is last early. That is 12 lengths behind for the backstretch run. The pace is solid, 23 1/5 seconds. Wonder Gadot shows the way with 5 furlongs to go, shadowed by Monomoy Girl. On the outside, racing in second, just a length behind. Abel Tasman is tucked away. Inside, moving along in third. The opening half in 47 2/5 seconds. Past the half-mile pole they go. Blue Prize is asked to go now. She's fourth and now third on the outside. Starting to make some progress is she. And Midnight Bijou's making a run as well. Abel Tasman has lost ground down inside. She's back into sixth now as Monomoy Girl claims the lead with 2.5 furlongs to go. Monomoy Girl's in front heading for the quarter pole. But on the outside, Blue Prize is poised for the final quarter mile. The whip is out at Midnight Bijou. The Kentucky Oaks winner, Monomoy Girl, turns for home in front by a length. Florence Giroux shakes her up, and she responds. And an instant is opening up by 2, now by 3. Blue Prize put in a bid. Midnight Bijou final try. Wildcats rallying from last, but there's a 16th to go. Monomoy Girl 2.5 length lead. Wildcat with a flying finish. A spectacular season for Monomoy Girl. She wins the Breeders' Cup Distaff, holding off Wildcat. Then it was Midnight Bijou and Blue.
Well, she also won the Oaks, which showed that she's probably the best older filly in America. Brad Cox trains her, Florent Giroux, as you heard, rode her. The second horse was by Looking at Lucky, a horse called Wildcat. Well, Chilean bred. Owned by Peter Brandt. Chad Brown trained it. Quite interesting because they now run second, Looking at Lucky. I must be thinking, will they win a Breeders' Cup? Okay, we move on. Because obviously the big race is the Classic. That's the dirt race that everyone wants to win. And we didn't show it because we think that we should finish the show with the greatest race mare in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm going to stick with that, the Northern Hemisphere. Accelerate won the Classic, Kev. John Sadler won for 41. 41st start in the Breeders' Cup race, and he won it.
Eventually.
Fantastic. I was so pleased for him, and it was by Looking at Lucky.
Yeah.
He won 4 Group 1s with this horse this year, 4 Grade 1s. And, you know, he just deserved to win it. It was so nice. Joel Rosario rode it. He'd had a good meeting. Fantastic.
Yeah, well done to them. You know, eventually what they say, persistence, eh?
Yeah, and he's a top trainer, John Sadler. Can you imagine going to the Breeders' Cup, 41 starters? I mean, in his career, it's probably the last 15 years he's been going.
Well,
never
look at
come
Michael
back with
Roberts.
a winner.
Took him 16 years to win the July.
Yeah.
Basil Marcus never. Jeffrey Lloyd never. Top great jockeys. You just can't find that one. And this guy must have thought, this meeting's eluded me once again. But well done. 41-1.
Well done, John Sadler. But let's go and watch the greatest mare in the Northern Hemisphere win the big Turf Classic. Let's go and see.
And they're off. And Glorious Empire, very alert coming out of the gate. Channelmaker is asked to go early and moves up on that one's inside. Robert Bruce is up close. High Happy from the far outside. Enable was away in good order. She's in a little bit of traffic. Racing for the far turn. Hunting Horn from the far outside. Races up 2. And Talismanic is down on the inside. So into the first of 3 turns. And Glorious Empire unopposed at this point. Channelmaker stalking the pace second. High Happy 3 wide. Racing third. 2.5 lengths back to Talismanic, who settles inside 4th. Hunting Horn 5th, right alongside of Enable. She's racing in 6th and is 5 lengths off the lead. And Robert Bruce follows her into the stretch for the first time, running along in 7th. Then it's Magical in 8th. Arklow in 9th. Voltgeist is back in 10th. Liam the Charmer is racing in 11th. Cortado de Cordes is second to last early. And the trailer is Sadler's Joy as they go by the Twin Spires for the first time. The first half mile in 49 seconds flat. Glorious Empire over the good going leads the way. Channelmaker on the outside is racing second, and High Happy continues on in the clear while third. Talismanic's going to save ground, sticking to the hedge 4th. Enable still 5th, a little bit off the rail, racing about 4 lengths off the lead. Hunting Horn still to her outside. Magical's in some traffic. Robert Bruce firmly held at mid-pack. 6 lengths behind, 1.5 lengths behind Enable for the backstretch run. Arklow's asked to pick it up just a bit. Voltgeist is following that one. And then on the far outside, Sadler's Joy's moved up a couple of spots, followed by Liam the Charmer. Cortado de Cordes is at the back of the pack. 3/4 and 14-2. 4 furlongs to go in the Breeders' Cup Turf. And Glorious Empire is still the leader, heading for the far turn. Channelmaker and High Happy. Hunting Horn is right there. Talismanic only 1.5 lengths off the lead. Magical's in the thick of it. Enable is perched on the far outside. She's 4 wide round the far turn. And Robert Bruce is following her. And Sadler's Joy is winding up from the back as well. It's wide open at the quarter pole. Short lead for High Happy. Enable is fanned 5, 6, maybe 7 wide off the turn. And Magical swings outside with her. They're off the turn. They're into the stretch. And on the outside it's Enable. Enable puts a nose in front, but Magical is battling her. And these 2 fillies streak by the 8th pole together. Enable way out in the center of the Churchill Downs turf has the lead. Magical battles on, but she's second, a long way back to the rest. History is made from the Arc to the Breeders' Cup. Enable wins it by 1/2 length. Super game effort for Magical to be second. Farther back, Sadler's Joy was third.
Well, 14 times ARC winners have gone to try and win the Breeders' Cup. Never happened.
No, she's specialist. And you know what? They're all begging and pleading. Please keep her in training for next year.
Well, why not? They kept Wings till she was 7.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with you, but I mean...
To go for the 3 races.
She must go Royal Ascot, Arc again.
Yeah, well, she had an interrupted program this year, which was unfortunate. But and she's just unbelievable. Nathaniel out of a Saddler's Wells mare, she's getting better. She's getting better, this filly.
4 starts back, and Abel was at Kempton on the all-weather.
You know what they ran?
Having a first run.
You know what they ran the final 6 furlongs in?
I'd love to know.
118.5. That's how testing the conditions were.
No, listen, it was heavy. You saw it. I mean, Frankie coming into straight 7 wide. But, I mean, both those English jocks, I mean, Dettori and Ryan Moore,
fantastic.
Too clever for them.
Fantastic. Okay, let's put to bed the arguments about who's the best filly in the mare in the world, because this is the best in the Northern Hemisphere. Winx is the best in the Southern Hemisphere. They shall never meet, okay?
Unfortunately.
It doesn't matter, fortunately, because Winx runs on different conditions to enable.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they'll never meet. They're 2 great mares, fillies and mares.
No, they're
and
class.
To watch them, both in the same years, come out and do what they've done is just spectacular for horse racing.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Me too. When you see champions like that, to be able to just see them as a privilege. Can you imagine being able to train them and ride them and own them?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, you've been lucky enough to be able to...
Yeah, I never found an Abel, but I found a Ipitombi, just as good in our era.
Yeah.
Went overseas and also I took on the colts and gave them what to go with.
Well, she's just done that. The Arc and the Breeders' Cup, she took on the colts and gave them.
That's why they're so good.
Kev, thanks so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure, James. Only a pleasure. Thanks.
Pleasure having you here and to chat to you about your riding skills and what happens in racing. It's great. And as Donald would say, it's so great. Have a great week's racing. We've had a great week watching racing, and may the next ones come along as soon as possible. Thanks to all of you, and enjoy your week.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.